Welcome back, folks, to some more Arcanum. Arcanum, whatever, fuck you. Now that you fools are done watching that stupid half-ogre beat the game like a lily sissy, I'll show you how to rule the world of Arcanum. Hello, bitch.
Greetings, good sir.
What manner of place is this, pray tell?
This great place is known as the Hall of Records, all manner of knowledge kept upon the premises. It is here our census records are kept, as well as tome upon tome of archives.
Can you tell me of how many years the census have been kept?
It's unfortunate the circumstances, as an accurate census of so last continent has only been kept for the last 20 years.
What do you mean, civilized?
Oh, but please pardon me, good sir. It was not my intention to offend. Please allow me to offer an explanation. Census records are kept exclusively for the cities and larger kingdoms. As of this date, no one has ever endeavored to take a census of the fringe, that being like Elven villages, Orcish hordes, and the outlying halfling villages.
Perhaps, madam, you can answer a few more questions.
But of course.
Are you able to help me to locate an individual? Renford Terwilliger.
My apologies, sir. There does not seem to be an individual by that name.
Would it be possible to check the records further back? I was told he could be found in Tarat.
Oh, good news. Renford Terwilliger, human. Died 1804 here in Tarat. Well, this would explain why we were unable to locate him living in Tarat. Do you wish me to retrieve his obituary?
Yes, please.
Here. 5/11/1804, Renford Terwilliger, author of Sing Lang, Horror Among the Dark Hills, was found dead in the home today. His death appears to have occurred amongst mysterious circumstance. The authorities are calling for further investigation. Oh my, what a dreadful incident.
Perhaps you can answer a few more questions, like, how big are those titties? That shan't be locked for long. What the hell are you doing? All right. Dirty rat. Money, money, money. And the gods are none the wiser. Looks like we're on a mission for a book.
Greetings. Allow me to welcome you to the Library of Tarant. Could I interest you in becoming one of our esteemed members?
Perhaps you could tell me about a book, Senang, Horror Among Dark Elves.
I suspect that we may very well have a copy. However, without a membership, I'm sorry, but I cannot assist you.
Membership?
That is correct. Anyone who wishes to pursue our volumes of knowledge must become a member. The Library of Tarant contains a myriad of books, which house many diverse subjects.
How much for a membership?
A lifetime membership cost a mere 1,500 coins.
Ha! You can fuck yourself. I have a membership for you. It's called Bolt of Lightning. Oh, you happen to have the book on you. Fantastic.
I'll take that fucking ring, too.
Curse of Senang.
In the following pages, I, Kendrick Wales, will attempt to explain in the plainest words possible the mysteries surrounding Renford A. Terwilliger and his controversial work known as The Horror Among Dark Elves. Many of the stories I will present to you are both strange and frightening, but I give you my word as an author and a scholar that they are the truth. Decide yourself after the facts are presented, whether or not you dare to believe them. Renford A. Terwilliger was born a complete queerbait in 1750. His fabled trip to the Glimmering Forest was made in 1768. His 18th year, he was indeed, per his book, accompanied by an elven tracker named Jarin Benal. Records housed within the Tarantian Zoological Society validate this fact. Mr. Benal was never heard from nor seen again after the expedition. As for Mr. Terwilliger's account for his adventures in the elven city of Quintara, or his supposed discovery of the mythical Senang, no one can be sure. Most scholars and collectors of literature assume that Mr. Terwilliger's books is a work of fiction, as the fantastical literature was of all the rage of the time. I must be inclined to agree, yet one must only look upon the events following the publication of Horror Among Dark Elves to see that he very well may have found something deep within the glimmering that was never ever meant to be found. There were very few copies of the book ever published. Records concerning the initial print run are scarce, but believed that no more than 100 were ever released in public. 4 days after the book was shipped to Transian bookstores, the factory that printed it burned to the fucking ground. The owner, a Mr. Jeremiah Gnomes, was found in his home brutally murdered by an unknown assailant. The 4 bookstores that had purchased the volume for sale in turn suffered the same fate. Only 15 copies of the book were sold before the final store was destroyed. Those 15 copies became an immediate collector's item. Enormous sums of money were paid for the remaining volumes. After a few months, the books had fallen into various respected collections across Arcanum. Each and every one of the owners of the books began to complain of the strange happenings once the book was in their possession. All of them told of frightening noises, visions, shadowy figures following them wherever they went, unexplained illnesses, and untimely deaths. Many attributed this paranoia, a tried brand of sensationalism, to create an even greater demand for the book. Unfortunately, their fears were all too justified. All of them were dead within 5 years of the initial publication, their volumes either stolen, burned, or disfigured beyond recognition. Kinda like your face! Indeed, they had suffered what came to be known as the curse of Senang. Mr. Terwilliger, strangely enough, lived a relatively long life, cursed in his own way, to witness the evil fruits of his labors. He saw himself as the cause of these horrors and wrote extensively within his memoirs. The following is an excerpt from them only days before he died in his sleep.
I never will forgive myself for what I've unleashed upon the world. Had I the courage, I would have traveled again to the Glimmering and unleashed holy vengeance upon those evil creatures that have plagued our fair land and its peoples. Alas, I no longer have the strength nor power, and there is only one my own end, and I pray for every day. Until just a 4 months ago, it was thought that there were no remaining copies of the Horror Among Dark Elves. After its exhaustive investigation, I found that this is not at all the case. The last known copy of the book, owned by the famed book collector Mr. Philip Misk, was thought to have perished with its owner in a fire 50 years ago. Now, with the evidence presented by a reliable source, I have discovered that Mr. Misk's son, Victor Misk of Caladon, still has the copy in possession, and is hiding it for fear that the curse will again visit his family. I pray that the evil let loose in the Glimmering has finally been put to rest, and I pray Mr. Misk and his family avoid the fate that has befallen every other soul who challenged the curse of St. Alban.
This, of course... Kill the librarian. No negative alignment attained. Fucking stupid. Let's head on toward Caledon. Now, I will be doing a technological thief playthrough of this, but I'm not going to do it for 10 years. So if you're still watching the Game Hoarders channel in 2022, you will be able to partake in the third adventure of Arcanum, in which I create a dwarf technological thief and do an LP. But don't worry, folks, that's just around the corner. We'll have many, many fun LPs in between then. That'll give you something to look forward to a decade from now. Okay, that puts Caladon on the map. I think we'll go ahead and sail there. I don't know why I ran the fuck all the way out here. It'll actually be easier to run out, leave, and come back.
I need someone to take me to Caladon. 100 per head. Passage for 7, please. I am ready.
So it's going to cost me 700 coin each time I travel here. Yeah, it's time to get a teleport spell. That will suck our money away in no time. But here we are in Caledon, at least. Be there in 3 short levels. Hopefully we reach around level 57-ish like Lug did by the end of the game. Should have a pretty bad little wizard by then.
The Mushroom Inn. The shopping is a pleasure. Hello, kid-san. Oh, I did not recognize you at first glance, Ronstock. Tell me, did you have any news of Dudley? I'm sorry to say I did not run across him in my travels. Well, I give you my utmost thanks for keeping an eye out for the chap. I can only hope that he's decided to go home and did not feel it necessary to inform me. You're welcome. Goodbye. If I see him, I'll be sure to kill him. Tell him for you. White Church murders.
What has been going on? Oh, did you hear about Gilbert Bates? It's a shame what happened to him. His good name been ruined by those terrible reporters.
I don't know anything of that.
Well, I don't know how you could have missed it. Everyone is talking about it. I tell you what, I'll buy you a drink or a toast to Mr. Bates.
Sure.
She smiles, sliding closer, placing a hand on your arm.
Thanks for drinking with me.
She takes a long pull from her champagne glass.
Good day to you.
I must be going before me and my 7 companions have our way with you.
It is good to see you, Ronstock. Those that matter within the underground speak highly of you. What can I do for you?
Where's the black market located?
You can find it hidden away in the back room of the Sobbing Onion.
Goodbye.
Hello, sir. A pleasure is mine.
What do you know, friend?
Hey, you're that fellow who survived the blimp crash. I read about you.
Yes, that was me.
That's utterly fantastic. A miracle. Congratulations, my friend. Might I buy you a drink?
Sure.
That's a good mate. Good drinking with you.
Farewell, Tiny Tim. Hey, mister, what's your name?
I'm Ryan Sanders, and who might you be, sir?
Me name Ronstock.
Well, what do you do, Ronstock?
Me want work. You got problem? Me fix.
Problem? Ha! The only problem I have is my father. I doubt there's much you can do about that.
Why he problem?
Ronstock is, of course, drunk.
My father, Jonathan Sanders, I'm sure you've heard of him.
He's the largest landowner in all of Caledon. The Sanders name has been one of the power and influences for generations.
That bad?
He didn't used to be. He was always a strong, ruthless son of a bitch. People feared him. His power and influence were a force to be reckoned with.
What happened?
He had an accident about a year ago. It almost killed him. Too bad it didn't. Ever since then, he's become a changed man.
Huh?
He wishes to be kind. It's pathetic. He goes out of his way to help the weak, forgives debts, even gives riches away. He's actually told me that our family history is shameful. I can barely stomach the sight of him.
Wow, that big change.
He's a squandering of fortune and rightfully mine. He has no right to give away what should be mine, none.
Yeah. You know why you be mad?
Perhaps I do have a job for you.
Got work for me?
If you have surmised that I would like to arrange a little something for my father, you are correct.
What?
Kill him, you fool! I want you to kill him.
That'd be good for you.
Yes, it would. A malicious grin spreading across his face.
I would expect appropriate compensation.
And what would you consider appropriate?
I believe 1,000 would cover it.
1,000? That's a little expensive.
You are asking a great deal, and I have much to gain.
I see what you mean. Very well, 1,000. And I want the arrangements handled quickly. Return to me when you are finished, and you'll be compensated for your services. Do we have an understanding?
We do. I shall return shortly. Goodbye, Mr. Sanders. You are the father. Hello, are you Mr. Sanders? Mr. Jonathan Sanders?
Yes, I am. What can I do to help you with?
I must go. Good day.
It is done.
And then I must kill you, because you are a bad, bad man. For being good. useless fucking ogres then.
Locked?
Locked, my asshole. Yeah. Boom shakalaka. Let's go collect our payment and our negative alignment. Hello again. I've completed our agreement. I would like my payment.
Ah, Ronstock, yes, your payment has been well earned. Well earned. You've made me a powerful man, I thank you.
Thank you. It was a pleasure doing business with you.
You are becoming too evil, Warmblood. I follow not the likes of you.
Oh, but I want to get to 20 charisma, and then yes, you will follow the likes of me. Little peckerhead. Why are you such a little fucking baby? White church murderers.
Guess this is the Thief Guilds of Sorts. You don't buy stolen goods. What's your fucking problem? Douche. You douche canoosh. Douche. Canoosh. Douche canoosh.
Hello. What do you need? A pleasure, madame. Might I ask who you are?
The youngest woman before you is dressed in a dark blue gown with a small hat and veil. She is strikingly hot as fuck. Her hair is a deep shade of amber, her eyes ice blue but a little swollen and red. You surmise she's been crying like a little bitch.
I am Lillian Misk, wife of late Victor Misk. The late Mr. Misk, he's dead? Yes, he recently passed. We put him in the ground not 4 days ago. I'm very sorry for your loss, madame. Have you a moment? Certainly. I'd like to talk to you about the book in the display case. Oh, that's called the Book of Durian's Truth. An ancient dwarven tome, I believe. It is one of Victor's most prized possessions. I see. Is it for sale? No, I'm afraid not. I keep it here for sentimental value. Ah, okay. What about horror among dark elves? What would you like to know about the book? Do you still have a copy of it? No. Excuse me. Up until 2 weeks ago, Victor carried it in person at all times. Then, one day he came home and told us he'd hidden it somewhere. But only he and old Dad would know. We all thought it very strange, but by then there wasn't much about Victor that wasn't. How did Victor get out? Did Victor still own the copy? I don't know. We kept it secret for so long. Only Victor and I knew, as well as some of our servants, but none of them would have ever said anything. They're like family to us. We've always treated them so well. Snarf, snarf. Perhaps Mr. Wales paid one of them a hefty sum for the information. Yes, I know. We did all of them. Denied any complicity. I trust them all. Besides, no proof to the contrary. I suppose I'd be grateful if someone were to look into the matter. Perhaps. I'll think on this matter. Any help would be appreciated. The servants are around the house. Feel free to speak with them. Perhaps I'll do that. What happened to the old bastard? He drowned. They found him down by the docks, washed up, all bloated and blue. He looked like a fucking blueberry. We hadn't seen him for days, but he had been that way for the past few months. Holy shit, he must have smelled like dog ass. Victor became unbalanced in the last few months of his life. He began having delusions, frequent anxiety attacks, ever since they released that cursed book. You mean the Curse of Senghang? I need a copy. Yes, once the book was released here in Caladon, I became convinced he was going to be the next victim of that so-called curse. I tried to comfort him, to tell him it was an author's conjecture, but he wouldn't listen. Said they got found out and now they're coming for me. We buried him a month later. Where was the funeral? At the Caladon Cemetery, northwest of the Temple. Was there anything strange at the funeral? You silly little bitch. Not that I remember. There was a few of our friends, the servants, and some family. Anyways, you're boring me. Greetings, sir. Might I be of service?
Yes, might I ask who you are? Of course, sir. I'm Wesley Carrington, the butler here at the Misk household.
I see. I might ask you a few questions, Wesley.
Of course, sir.
I have some questions about the book of Mr. Wales.
His eyes widened slightly.
You mean the Curse of Senghang? That's rubbish. I'm surprised you have the audacity to mention the name of it in this house, sir, especially knowing what it did to Mr. Misk.
Forgive me, but I'm not looking into the matter for Mr. Misk.
Are you insinuating that I might have something to do with that, sir?
I didn't say that, Wesley. Perhaps that might be able to help me.
Good. I've been a loyal servant to the Misk for many years. I'd hate to think that Miss Misk didn't trust me any longer.
Is there anything you might know that might help me?
I'm not the one to talk about bad people, but if you're looking for a place to begin your search, I'd go no further than Brenda the maid. She may not look it, but she's a half-orc. You never know with those bitches.
Interesting theory, Wesley. Anything else of actual usefulness?
No. It just infuriates me that someone would betray Mr. Misk. I hope you find out who's responsible and bring him to justice, the cocksucker.
I'll do my best, Wesley. Good day to you. What's this little passporty thing I found? Wesley Carrington, 25 Dragon Turn up Caladon. Hello, sir. How might I help you? Yes. Might I ask who you are, you half-orcish bitch? Yes, I'm Brenda the maid.
She seems to struggle with her words. She has a thick, orcish accent.
I see. Might I ask you a few questions, Brenda? Certainly, sir. I have some questions about the Curse of Senghang.
She seems very nervous.
Why? Why you ask about that bad book? That book drive Mr. Misk to his death. I don't want to talk about it. I'm investigating the masterful Mrs. Misk. Well, what do you want to know, sir? Do you know how Mr. Wales found out that Mr. Misk had the book? No,
She looks around frightened.
I know nothing about that. I mean, I love Mr. and Mr. Misk. I never do anything to hurt them.
She seems flustered, unable to find her words.
You seem awfully defensive about it, Brenda.
She looks back and full of stammering.
No, I already talked to police. I never hurt, ever. Arr, leave me alone. I don't want to talk about it anymore. I'm sure we'll be seeing each other again, Brenda. Good day. Nice teeth. Nice pig snout too, bitch. I think they're all full of shit and we'll kill him. But we'll find out more in the next episode. Thanks for watching Arcanum, the Ronstock version.